Jack pulled his 6-year-old son out of the store, mortified beyond words. "I'm so sorry," he stammered to the elegant woman Noah had just called Mommy. She stood there, stunned, her Hermes bag slipping to the floor. "Daddy, please, I just want a mommy for one day." Noah's tears fell onto Jack's worn jacket. As he turned to leave, a hand touched his shoulder. "Wait, I'll do it." What would you do if you were in Rebecca's position? Would you step in and be someone's mommy for a day, or would you walk away? Share your thoughts and follow this touching story to the end. Jack Wilson never imagined his life would turn out this way. At 34, he was a low-level construction engineer at a small company, earning just enough to keep their heads above water. On weekends, he worked security shifts at a local mall to cover the mounting medical bills. 3 years ago, his wife Ashley had walked out on them when Noah was diagnosed with a congenital heart condition. She claimed she couldn't handle the stress, the hospital visits, the uncertainty. She disappeared from their lives without a backward glance, leaving Jack to navigate parenthood and his son's illness alone. Their one-bedroom apartment in the less desirable part of town was small but clean. Jack slept on the pull-out couch, giving Noah the only bedroom. The walls were thin, the plumbing temperamental, but it was home. What mattered most to Jack was that his son had a roof over his head and the medical care he needed, even if it meant drowning in debt. 6 months ago, Noah had undergone major heart surgery. The procedure had been a success, but the bills kept coming. Even with insurance, Jack owed tens of thousands of dollars to the hospital. He picked up extra shifts whenever possible, often working 16-hour days, coming home only to kiss his sleeping son's forehead before collapsing on the couch. Noah was an extraordinary child. Despite his health challenges, he was curious and bright beyond his years. He loved science books and could recite facts about the human heart that surprised even his doctors. But there was a sadness in him too. He often drew pictures of families. Always 3 people, a tall figure labeled Dad, a small figure labeled Me, and a faceless figure with long hair labeled Mom. His questions about his mother grew more frequent as he watched other children with their parents at school and in the park. "Dad, why don't I have a mom like everyone else?" he'd ask, his blue eyes serious. "Some families are different, buddy," Jack would answer, his heart breaking a little each time. "Some have a mom and dad, some have 2 moms, some have 2 dads, and some, like us, have just a dad who loves them very much." The answer usually satisfied Noah, but Jack knew his son longed for a mother figure. He hadn't dated since Ashley left, focusing all his energy on Noah and work. He couldn't imagine bringing someone new into their complicated lives. Couldn't risk Noah getting attached, only to be abandoned again. Rebecca Morgan's life couldn't have been more different. At 32, she was the CEO of Health Pulse, a medical technology company valued at hundreds of millions. Her corner office overlooked the city skyline, and her schedule was managed down to the minute by an efficient team. She had achieved everything she had set out to do professionally. But her personal life was another story. She had recently divorced her husband of 2 years, a fellow entrepreneur who had cheated on her with his assistant. A cliché she found both painful and embarrassing. The worst part was that she couldn't have children due to complications from a car accident 7 years ago. Her ex had thrown this in her face during their final argument, claiming he needed someone who could give him a family. Rebecca understood loss intimately. Her mother had died when she was 8, leaving her father to raise her alone. He had done his best, building a successful investment firm while attending her recitals and soccer games. He had taught her resilience and ambition. But even he couldn't fill the void her mother's absence had created. Her penthouse apartment was featured in architectural magazines, all clean lines, modern art, and designer furniture. It was beautiful, perfect, and utterly empty. She came home most nights to silence, ordering in dinner and working until she fell asleep. For all her success, Rebecca felt something crucial was missing from her life. Their worlds collided on a rainy Tuesday afternoon in a small bookstore downtown. Rebecca was browsing the medical section, researching for a new cardiac monitoring device her company was developing. She picked up a book on pediatric heart surgeries when a small voice piped up beside her. "Ha ha ha ha! I had that surgery, Noah said, pointing to an illustration in the book. Do you want to see my scar? Before Rebecca could respond, he had already lifted his t-shirt to reveal a thin pink line down his chest. The doctor said I was very brave, he continued proudly. I have a special heart. It needed fixing. Rebecca smiled, charmed by his frankness. You must be very brave indeed. Noah. Jack appeared, flustered and out of breath. I'm so sorry, he just wandered off while I was checking out. He turned to his son. What have I told you about talking to strangers? But Dad, she's looking at heart books. She might be a doctor who could help me. Jack's face flushed with embarrassment. I'm very sorry for the interruption. Rebecca waved away his apology. No need. We were having a lovely chat about cardiac surgery. He's quite knowledgeable. The doctors say he's going to be a cardiologist someday, Jack said with pride, then hesitated. We should let you get back to your shopping. As they turned to leave, Noah looked up at Rebecca with hopeful eyes. Would you like to be my mommy for a day? Just one day? I promise I'm not too much trouble. The question hung in the air between them, shocking both adults into silence. Jack's face turned crimson. Noah, we can't just, he stammered. I'm so sorry, he said to Rebecca, mortified. But something in Noah's innocent request and Jack's obvious devotion to his son touched something deep in Rebecca. Before she could think it through, she found herself saying, Why don't we exchange numbers? Maybe we could meet for ice cream sometime. The coincidence of running into Jack and Noah at Memorial Hospital 2 weeks later seemed like fate. Rebecca was there for a partnership meeting with the cardiology department when she spotted them in the waiting area. Noah was swinging his legs, reading a comic book, while Jack spoke with a receptionist, his expression growing increasingly distressed. Insurance issue, Jack explained when she approached. They're saying our coverage has changed and this follow-up visit isn't fully covered. I'll figure it out. Rebecca could see the worry lines deepen around his eyes. Without thinking twice, she excused herself and made a quick call. When she returned, she handed Jack her business card, the first time she'd revealed her position to him. I know some people in billing, she said casually. Your appointment should go through now. It's part of a special program. Jack studied her card, his eyes widening. You're the CEO of Health Pulse, the medical tech company? That's my day job, she smiled. But right now, I'm just someone who'd like to take you both for that ice cream we talked about. After Noah's appointment, of course. Their relationship developed naturally from there. Rebecca found herself dropping by their apartment with small gifts. A science book for Noah. A home-cooked meal when she knew Jack was working late. She helped Noah with his homework, teaching him simple math tricks her father had taught her. You don't have to do all this, Jack said one evening after putting Noah to bed. I know, Rebecca replied. But I want to. One Saturday, Rebecca suggested taking Noah to the zoo. Jack reluctantly agreed to join them, still uncomfortable accepting what felt like charity. But as the day progressed, watching Rebecca and Noah laughing at the penguin exhibit, something shifted in him. For the first time in years, he felt the weight on his shoulders lighten. On the drive home, Noah fell asleep in the back seat, exhausted from the excitement. Jack and Rebecca sat in comfortable silence in the parked car outside his apartment, neither wanting the day to end. I haven't talked to anyone like this since Ashley left, Jack admitted in the darkness. I forgot what it was like to just talk. Rebecca studied his profile in the dim light. What happened? If you don't mind me asking. Jack sighed. When Noah was diagnosed, it was like she just checked out. Said she never signed up for a sick kid. One day I came home from the hospital and her things were gone. No note, nothing. She called a week later from another state, said she needed a fresh start. That must have been devastating. The hardest part was explaining to Noah. He was only 3, but he kept asking for her for months. Jack's voice cracked. Sometimes I wonder if I'm enough for him. Rebecca reached out impulsively, touching his hand. From what I've seen, you're everything he needs. Their eyes met, and for a moment, something electric passed between them. Then Noah stirred in the back seat, breaking the spell. When Noah's school announced, "Bring your family to school day," Jack panicked. All the other kids will have their moms there, he confided to Rebecca over the phone. Noah's been so excited about it, but I'm worried he'll feel left out. I could come, Rebecca offered. If that would help. On the day of the event, Rebecca arrived wearing jeans and a simple sweater, rather than her usual executive attire. She brought homemade cookies for the class and sat next to Jack during the presentations. When Noah's teacher, Mrs. Davis, assumed Rebecca was Noah's mother, neither of them corrected her. The joy on Noah's face was too precious to tarnish with explanations. "Thank you for doing this," Jack said as they walked to the parking lot afterward. "I've never seen him smile so much." "It was my pleasure," Rebecca replied, and she meant it. Being part of their little family, even for a day, had filled a void she hadn't fully acknowledged. Their lives continued to intertwine. When Noah came down with a fever while Jack was working a double shift, Rebecca came over without hesitation. She made chicken soup from her grandmother's recipe and read to Noah until he fell asleep curled against her side. "My mom used to do this when I was sick," she told him softly, stroking his hair. "She'd tell me stories about brave knights and dragons." "Do you miss her?" Noah asked drowsily. "Every day," Rebecca admitted. "But you know what? Sometimes the best moms aren't the ones who give birth to you. They're the ones who choose to love you." When Jack came home at midnight, exhausted from his shift, he found them both asleep on the couch, a storybook open on Rebecca's lap. Something swelled in his chest at the sight, something that felt dangerously like hope. The three of them fell into a comfortable routine. Sunday dinners became a tradition, with Rebecca teaching Noah how to make simple dishes, while Jack watched in amazement. "When I grow up," Noah announced one night as they sat around the small kitchen table, "I want a family just like this." Rebecca's eyes filled with unexpected tears. Jack reached across the table and gently wiped one away with his thumb, the gesture intimate and natural. Neither of them spoke about the feelings growing between them, both too afraid to shatter the fragile happiness they had found. The bubble burst on a Tuesday morning when Jack checked the mail. Among the bills was a notice from the hospital. Account paid in full. Confused, he called the billing department, who confirmed that his entire balance, over $30,000, had been paid through a charitable foundation for children with heart conditions. That same afternoon, he spotted a business magazine in a waiting room with Rebecca's face on the cover. Health Pulse CEO pioneers new cardiac care initiative. The article detailed her company's charitable foundation, which provided financial assistance to families struggling with pediatric heart disease expenses. Everything clicked into place. The special program at the hospital, the convenient timing of their first meeting at the bookstore when she was researching cardiac procedures, her sudden appearance in their lives. It had all been orchestrated. A charity case for a wealthy CEO with a pet project. When Rebecca arrived for dinner that evening, she found Jack waiting with the hospital notice and magazine on the table. The warmth that usually greeted her was gone, replaced by a cold, hard stare. "Were we ever real to you?" he asked quietly. "Or just a charity case to make you feel better about your privileged life?" Rebecca's face paled. "Jack, it's not like that. I wanted to help." "Without telling me? Without giving me the dignity of a choice?" His voice rose. "Do you have any idea how humiliating this is? To find out the woman He cut himself off. "To find out you've been paying our bills behind my back." "I was going to tell you," Rebecca insisted. "I just didn't want you to push me away." "Noah doesn't need a pretend mommy, and I don't need your pity." Their argument grew heated, voices rising until they became aware of a small figure in the doorway. Noah stood there in his pajamas, tears streaming down his face. "Why are you yelling at Mom, Rebecca?" he sobbed. "Don't make her go away." Jack knelt beside his son, heart breaking. "Buddy, Rebecca isn't your mom. She's just a nice lady who's been helping us." "I don't care. I want her to stay." Noah ran to Rebecca, clinging to her legs. Rebecca knelt to hug him, her own tears falling. "I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I never meant to hurt you or your dad." "Then don't go," Noah pleaded. But the damage was done. Rebecca left that night, Jack's pride and sense of betrayal creating a wall between them. Noah was inconsolable for days, asking repeatedly when Rebecca would return. Jack had no answers, only a hollow feeling in his chest that grew with each passing day. A week later, the second blow fell. Ashley reappeared in their lives as suddenly as she had vanished. She arrived at Jack's door looking polished and confident, a far cry from the overwhelmed young woman who had abandoned them. "I heard Noah's doing better," she said. "I've been thinking about him." Jack stood in the doorway, blocking her entry. 3 years, Ashley. 3 years without a call, a birthday card, nothing. "I made mistakes," she admitted. "But I'm ready to be a mother now." What she really wanted became clear the next day when legal papers arrived. Ashley was suing for custody. Her lawyer's letter cited Jack's financial instability and inability to provide adequate care for a child with medical needs as grounds for the suit. The timing couldn't have been worse. Jack was emotionally drained from the fallout with Rebecca, and now he faced losing Noah too. He couldn't afford a good lawyer, but he scraped together enough for a retainer with a family attorney who warned him it would be an uphill battle. "She has resources, a stable marriage to a doctor now, and can argue she's more equipped to handle Noah's medical needs," the lawyer explained. "We need to prove you've provided exceptional care despite financial limitations." Jack sold his car to pay legal fees. He took on even more work, functioning on 3 hours of sleep most nights. His colleagues at the construction company organized a fundraiser, and his elderly neighbor watched Noah for free when he worked late. But it wasn't enough. Ashley's legal team was building a formidable case. The day of the custody hearing arrived. Jack sat at the defendant's table, hollow-eyed and terrified. Noah was with his neighbor, spared the ordeal of the courtroom. Ashley sat across the aisle, immaculate in a designer suit, her new husband beside her. Her lawyer painted Jack as a struggling single father, overwhelmed and under-resourced. "Mr. Wilson works multiple jobs, leaving his son with neighbors and babysitters. Meanwhile, my client can provide a stable home with 2 parents, including a physician who understands the child's medical needs." Jack's attorney did his best, presenting character references and Noah's school reports, showing he was thriving despite the challenges. But when the judge asked about future medical expenses, and Jack hesitated, he could feel the case slipping away. The courtroom doors opened, and a murmur rippled through the gallery. Rebecca walked in, followed by a team of attorneys in expensive suits. She wore a simple but elegant dress, her CEO persona firmly in place. "Your Honor, I'd like to request permission to testify as a witness in this case," she announced, her voice steady. The judge raised his eyebrows but nodded. "Approach and state your name and relationship to the parties." "Rebecca Morgan, CEO of Health Pulse Medical Technologies. I've been closely involved with Noah Wilson's care through our pediatric cardiac program." Ashley's lawyer objected immediately. "Your Honor, this witness wasn't on the list." "I'll allow it," the judge ruled. "This is about a child's welfare. I want all relevant information." Rebecca took the stand and swore to tell the truth. With calm precision, she outlined her knowledge of Noah's case, explaining how Jack had gone above and beyond to ensure his son received excellent care. "I've personally observed Mr. Wilson's dedication to his son. He has never missed a medical appointment, despite working multiple jobs. He's learned complex cardiac care procedures. He reads medical journals to better understand Noah's condition." She turned to face Ashley directly. "Mrs. Rayburn left when Noah was diagnosed. She has had no contact with her son during the most critical periods of his treatment. Now that he's stable, she wants to claim the role she abandoned." Ashley's lawyer stood. "Ms. Morgan, what is your personal relationship with Mr. Wilson and the child?" Rebecca paused. "I care deeply about Noah's safety." "Are you romantically involved with Mr. Wilson?" "My personal feelings are irrelevant to Noah's best interests," Rebecca replied evenly. "What matters is that I've witnessed firsthand the extraordinary lengths Jack goes to for his son." She addressed the judge directly. "Your Honor, I lost my mother when I was young. My father raised me alone, making sacrifices I didn't fully appreciate until I was an adult. Like Jack, he put my needs above everything else. That kind of devotion can't be measured in bank accounts or living arrangements." Rebecca continued, "I cannot have children of my own due to an accident years ago. Meeting Noah and Jack showed me what family truly means. It isn't about financial resources or perfect circumstances. It's about unconditional love and sacrifice." The courtroom was silent when she finished. Our company's foundation has offered full medical support for Noah, regardless of custody arrangements. But I can tell you without hesitation that there is no better parent for that child than Jack Wilson. As Rebecca stepped down, commotion erupted at the back of the courtroom. Noah burst through the doors, having somehow escaped the neighbor's watch. He ran straight to Rebecca, throwing his arms around her. "Mom," he cried, "don't let them take me away from Dad." The judge watched as Noah clung to Rebecca, with Jack approaching cautiously behind. The three of them formed a tableau that spoke volumes about their relationship. Ashley watched the scene unfold, her expression shifting from determination to uncertainty. After a whispered conversation with her lawyer, she approached the bench. "Your Honor, I'd like to withdraw my petition for custody," she said quietly. I think I was wrong. Noah already has a family who loves him." The judge studied her for a moment, then nodded. "Petition withdrawn. Full custody remains with Mr. Wilson." He banged his gavel. "Case dismissed." As people began to file out, Jack stood awkwardly facing Rebecca, Noah still clutching her hand. "Thank you," he said simply, unable to find words for everything he felt. Rebecca nodded, her eyes bright with unshed tears. "He deserves the best." She gently disengaged her hand from Noah's. "Take care of your dad, okay?" Before either could respond, she walked away, her legal team following behind her. A month passed with no word from Rebecca. Jack tried calling but only reached her assistant, who politely took messages that were never returned. Noah grew quiet, asking less frequently when Mom, Rebecca, would visit. Their apartment, once brightened by her presence, felt emptier than before. Jack received an unexpected job offer from a major construction firm, double his current salary, with health benefits that would cover all of Noah's needs. He couldn't help wondering if Rebecca had something to do with it, but he took the position regardless. They moved to a larger apartment, with a proper bedroom for Jack and a room for Noah, decorated with glow-in-the-dark stars on the ceiling. On a crisp Saturday afternoon, they visited the park where they had once gone with Rebecca. While Jack was buying ice cream, Noah spotted a familiar figure sitting alone on a bench by the pond. "Mom, Rebecca!" he shouted, running toward her before Jack could stop him. Rebecca looked up, startled, as Noah crashed into her with a fierce hug. "Where have you been? I missed you so much," Noah said, his face buried in her coat. Jack approached slowly, unsure of his welcome. "I'm sorry," he said when he reached them. "He saw you and just took off." Rebecca smiled, though her eyes were sad. "It's okay. I missed him too." An awkward silence fell between the adults until Noah tugged them both toward the duck pond. "Come see the baby ducks." As they walked, Jack cleared his throat. "I owe you an apology. I overreacted. I was so caught up in my pride that I couldn't see you were just trying to help." Rebecca shook her head. "I should have been honest about who I was and what I was doing. I was afraid of losing something precious I'd just found." Noah looked up at them both, his eyes hopeful. "Can we be a family now? I don't need any Christmas presents, just this." Rebecca and Jack exchanged glances, something unspoken passing between them. Over the following weeks, Rebecca began visiting their new apartment. She helped hang curtains and arrange furniture. She and Noah planted a small herb garden on the balcony. Jack watched them together, seeing the natural way they interacted, the love that had grown despite the complication. One evening, after Noah had gone to bed, Jack and Rebecca sat on the couch, a comfortable silence between them. "I don't know what this is," Jack admitted. "I don't know what we're doing." "Neither do I," Rebecca replied, "but I'd like to find out." Slowly, he took her hand, and this time, neither pulled away. On Noah's 7th birthday, they had a small party in the park. As Noah blew out his candles, he looked at Jack and Rebecca, standing side by side. "What did you wish for, buddy?" Jack asked. "If I tell you, it won't come true," Noah replied with a mysterious smile. As Rebecca reached to cut the cake, her hand brushed against Jack's. Neither moved away from the contact. Noah watched them with knowing eyes, as if he could see something they were only beginning to understand. Sometimes, the most beautiful families aren't the ones we're born into, but the ones we find in the unexpected detours of life. If you were touched by this healing journey, Please like this video, share the story, and subscribe to our channel to add more faith in human kindness and family bonds. What do you think should happen next? Will Jack and Rebecca truly find happiness together? Share your thoughts below.